N-400 Interview Part 1. How to Answer Yes, No Moral Character Questions, 2025.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Officer Andrea. I will be conducting your naturalization interview today. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. I'll begin with the civics portion of your interview. I'll ask you up to 50 questions. You'll need to answer at least 30 correctly to pass. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Question 1. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president?
18 and older.
That's correct. In the United States, citizens must be at least 18 years old to vote in federal elections, including the presidential election. Question 2. What did the Declaration of Independence do?
Announced our independence from Great Britain.
Yes, that's right. It officially declared that the American colonies were breaking away from British rule. Question 3. What are the two major political parties in the United States?
Democratic and Republican.
That's correct. Those are the two major political parties in the U.S. today. Question 4. How many justices are on the Supreme Court?
Check at the time of your interview.
Yes, the number can change, so you should check the current number before your interview date. Question 5. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South.
The Civil War.
That's right. The Civil War was fought between the northern and southern states of the U.S. Question 6. Name one state that borders Mexico.
California.
Yes, California is one of the U.S. states that shares a border with Mexico. Question 7. What are two rights of everyone living in the United States?
Freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
Absolutely. Those rights are protected under the Constitution and apply to everyone living in the U.S. Question 8. Who was the first president?
George Washington.
That's correct. George Washington was the very first president of the United States. Question 9. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States?
Terrorists attacked the United States.
Yes, that was a tragic and significant day in U.S. history. Question 10. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment?
Speech.
Correct. The First Amendment guarantees the freedom of speech, among other important freedoms. Question 11. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves?
Africans.
Yes, that's right. Many Africans were forcibly brought to America and enslaved. Question 12. When do we celebrate Independence Day?
July 4th.
Correct. Independence Day is celebrated every year on July 4th. Question 13. What does the President's Cabinet do?
Advises the President.
That's right. The cabinet is made up of key advisors who help the president make important decisions. Question 14. Name one state that borders Canada.
New York.
Yes, New York shares a northern border with Canada. Question 15. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
The Speaker of the House.
That's correct. The Speaker of the House is next in the line of succession. Question 16. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States?
Atlantic Ocean.
Yes, the Atlantic Ocean lies along the east coast. Question 17. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms?
April 15th.
That's right. Unless there's a special extension, taxes are due on April 15th each year. Question 18. What does the judicial branch do?
Reviews laws.
Exactly. The judicial branch interprets and reviews the laws to make sure they follow the Constitution. Question 19. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens?
Vote in a federal election.
Correct. Only U.S. citizens can vote in federal elections like those for president or Congress. Question 20. What is the highest court in the United States?
The Supreme Court.
That's right. It is the top court in the judicial system. Question 21. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them.
Any citizen can vote.
Yes, that's correct. One of those amendments guarantees that any U.S. citizen, male or female, has the right to vote. Question 22. What is freedom of religion?
You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
That's absolutely right. In the U.S., people are free to follow any religion or none at all. Question 23. What is the name of the President of the United States now?
Check at the time of your interview.
That's correct. Be sure to know the current president's name on the day of your interview. Question 24. Name one problem that led to the Civil War.
Slavery.
Yes, slavery was one of the key causes of the Civil War. Question 25. The House of Representatives has how many voting members?
435.
That's right. There are 435 voting members in the House. Question 26. Name one U.S. territory.
Puerto Rico.
Correct. Puerto Rico is one of several U.S. territories. Question 27. What are 2 cabinet-level positions?
Attorney General, Vice President.
Yes, both the Attorney General and the Vice President are part of the President's cabinet. Question 28. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do?
Fought for civil rights.
That's right. He was a key leader in the American civil rights movement. Question 29. When must all men register for the Selective Service?
18.
Correct. Men must register for Selective Service at age 18. Question 30. We elect a U.S. Senator for how many years?
6.
Yes, U.S. Senators serve 6-year terms. Question 31. Why did the colonists fight the British?
Because of high taxes.
That's right. High taxes and other issues like lack of representation led the colonists to rebel. Question 32. What is an amendment?
A change to the Constitution.
Correct. An amendment is a formal change or addition to the Constitution. Question 33. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, Thomas Jefferson was the main author of the Declaration. Question 34. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s.
World War II.
That's correct. World War II was a significant conflict the U.S. participated in during the 1900s. Question 35. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in?
World War II.
Yes, that's right. Eisenhower served as a general in World War II before becoming president.
Thank you, Officer Andrea.
You did a great job answering those questions, David. How are you feeling so far?
I feel pretty confident with the basics, but I think I need to review more of the history-related questions.
That's a good observation. Many people find the historical facts and names a bit tricky, especially if they haven't studied them in a while.
Right. I'll try to focus more on the timeline and major events.
A great way to study is to use flashcards, practice with a friend, and go through sample interview videos. Also, try saying the answers out loud to build confidence.
That makes sense. I've also been listening to audio recordings on my phone during breaks.
That's an excellent method. The more ways you review, the better it will stick. You've made a strong start. Keep it up.
N-400 Interview Part 2. Reading and Writing Test Practice for U.S. Citizenship 2025.
All right, David, welcome back. You did a great job with the first part of your civics test. Ready to continue with the next set of questions?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's continue.
Question 36. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted?
July 4th, 1776.
That's correct. July 4th, 1776 is the date the colonies officially declared independence from Great Britain. Question 37. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now?
Answers will vary.
That's fine. Make sure you know the names of your current senators before the interview day. Question 38. What did Susan B. Anthony do?
Fought for women's rights.
That's absolutely right. She was a leader in the women's suffrage movement and worked for equal rights. Question 39. Who signs bills to become laws?
The President.
Yes, the President signs bills passed by Congress into law. Question 40. Who is the Commander-in-Chief of the military?
The President.
Correct. The President has authority over the U.S. Armed Forces. Question 41. What movement tried to end racial discrimination?
Civil Rights Movement.
Yes, the Civil Rights Movement aimed to end racial segregation and promote equal rights. Question 42. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government?
To print money.
That's correct. Only the federal government can issue currency. Question 43. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
The United States.
That's right. The pledge is a way of expressing loyalty to the nation. Question 44. Name your U.S. representative.
Answers will vary.
Okay. Be sure to check who your district's representative is before the interview. Question 45. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Yes, Franklin D. Roosevelt led the country during both of those major events. Question 46. What is the capital of your state?
Answers will vary.
That's fine. Just remember to know your state capital. Question 47. Why does the flag have 50 stars?
Because there are 50 states.
Exactly. Each star represents one of the 50 states in the Union. Question 48. What is the rule of law?
Everyone must follow the law.
That's right. No one is above the law, not even government officials. Question 49. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States?
Pacific Ocean.
Yes, the Pacific Ocean lies along the western coast. Question 50. Why do some states have more representatives than other states?
Because of the state's population.
Correct. States with more people have more representation in the House. Question 51. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence?
Life, liberty.
Yes, those are two of the unalienable rights listed in that historic document. Question 52. When was the Constitution written?
1787.
That's correct. The U.S. Constitution was drafted in 1787. Question 53. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States.
Mississippi River.
That's right. The Mississippi River is one of the longest in the country. Question 54. Who is the governor of your state now?
Answers will vary.
Good. Just remember to check who your governor is before the interview. Question 55. Who did the United States fight in World War II?
Japan, Germany, and Italy.
That's correct. Those were the main Axis powers the U.S. fought during the war. Question 56. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
The vice president.
That's right. The vice president takes over if the president can't serve. Question 57. Who does a U.S. senator represent?
All people of the state.
Yes, a senator represents everyone in their state, not just those from a particular district. Question 58. Name 2 national U.S. holidays.
New Year's Day, Christmas.
Correct. Those are both recognized national holidays in the U.S. Question 59. We elect a president for how many years?
4.
That's right. A presidential term is 4 years long. Question 60. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen?
Be loyal to the United States.
Yes, that's an important part of the oath of allegiance. Question 61. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years?
2.
That's correct. House members serve 2-year terms. Question 62. How many amendments does the Constitution have?
27.
That's right. There are 27 amendments to the Constitution. Question 63. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s.
Civil War.
Yes, the Civil War was one of the most significant conflicts of that century. Question 64. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
We the people.
That's correct. Those words show that the power of government comes from the people. Question 65. What is the name of the national anthem?
The Star-Spangled Banner.
Yes, that's our national anthem, written during the War of 1812. Question 66. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803?
The Louisiana Territory.
That's right. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the country at that time. Question 67. In what month do we vote for president?
November.
Correct. Presidential elections are always held in November. Question 68. Where is the Statue of Liberty?
New York Harbor.
Yes, the Statue of Liberty stands proudly in New York Harbor. Question 69. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States.
Crow.
That's right. The Crow is one of the many Native American tribes in the U.S. Question 70. What is the political party of the president now?
Check at the time of your interview.
Exactly. Make sure you know the president's political party before your interview.
Wow, that was a lot of information, but I feel more confident now.
You're doing great, David. You've made it through 70 questions already, and you've handled them very well.
Thank you. I've been using a lot of practice tools, flashcards, apps, and I even practice out loud with friends.
That's an excellent study strategy. Combining different methods like reading, listening, and speaking helps strengthen memory and confidence.
I've noticed that understanding the why behind some answers helps too.
Absolutely. When you connect answers to real history or daily life, it becomes easier to remember. For example, linking the Constitution's principles to current laws or rights.
That really helps, especially for topics like amendments or government structure.
Keep reviewing consistently, especially the questions that vary based on location, like your senator, representative, and governor. And remember, it's not just memorizing. You're learning what it means to be a U.S. citizen.
That's true. Thanks for the guidance.
You're welcome. Let's take another short break, and then we can move on to the final part of your interview.
N-400 Interview Part 3. What to bring and how to prepare for USCIS Interview Day.
Welcome back, David. You're doing a great job so far. Let's finish the final section of the civics portion with questions 71 through 100.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Question 71. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did?
Freed the slaves.
That's absolutely right. Through the Emancipation Proclamation, he helped end slavery in the Confederate States. Question 72. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers.
James Madison.
Yes, James Madison was one of the key authors, along with Alexander Hamilton and John Jay. Question 73. Who is in charge of the executive branch?
The President.
Correct. The President leads the executive branch of the federal government. Question 74. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States?
Communism.
That's right. The U.S. was deeply concerned about the spread of communism during that time. Question 75. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states?
Give a driver's license.
Yes, that's a good example. Each state handles its own licensing systems. Question 76. Name one branch or part of the government.
Congress.
Correct. Congress is part of the legislative branch, which makes laws. Question 77. Why does the flag have 13 stripes?
Because there were 13 original colonies.
That's right. The stripes honor the original colonies that declared independence. Question 78. What is the economic system in the United States?
Market economy.
Yes, we operate under a market economy, which is based on supply and demand. Question 79. What are two ways that Americans can participate in their democracy?
Vote, run for office.
Exactly. Participating in elections or serving in public office are both important civic duties. Question 80. What is the capital of the United States?
Washington, D.C.
Correct. It has been our capital since 1800. Question 81. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for?
U.S. diplomat.
Yes, he was a key diplomat, especially during the American Revolution. Question 82. How many U.S. senators are there?
100.
That's right. Each state has 2 senators, making a total of 100. Question 83. Who was president during World War I?
Woodrow Wilson.
Correct. He led the country through World War I and helped form the League of Nations. Question 84. There were 13 original states. Name 3.
New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire.
Well done. All 3 were among the original 13 colonies. Question 85. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now?
Check at the time of your interview.
Yes, be sure to know the current Vice President's name before your actual interview. Question 86. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do?
Freed the slaves.
That's correct. It declared freedom for slaves in the Confederate States. Question 87. What is one reason colonists came to America?
Freedom.
Yes, many came seeking religious and political freedom. Question 88. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution?
The Bill of Rights.
That's right. They outline key freedoms and protections for individuals. Question 89. What does the Constitution do?
Sets up the government.
Correct. It also defines the powers and limits of our government. Question 90. Who makes federal laws?
Congress.
Yes, Congress writes and passes laws at the federal level. Question 91. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful?
Checks and balances.
Absolutely. It's a system that ensures no branch oversteps its authority. Question 92. Name one right only for United States citizens.
Vote in a federal election.
That's correct. Voting in federal elections is a right and privilege of citizenship. Question 93. Who is the father of our country?
George Washington.
Yes, George Washington played a central role in the founding of the nation. Question 94. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now?
Check at the time of your interview.
Correct. That position can change, so be sure to know the name on interview day. Question 95. What are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress?
The Senate and House of Representatives.
That's right. Congress is made up of two chambers. Question 96. What happened at the Constitutional Convention?
The Constitution was written.
Yes, that meeting produced the U.S. Constitution in 1787. Question 97. Who vetoes bills?
The President.
That's correct. The President can reject bills passed by Congress. Question 98. What is the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution.
Yes, all laws in the U.S. must follow the Constitution. Question 99. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived?
Native Americans.
That's right. Many Native American tribes inhabited the land long before European settlers came. Question 100. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now?
Check at the time of your interview.
Correct. That's another one you'll need to look up just before your interview.
Wow, we've made it through all 100 questions.
Yes, and you've done a great job. Your preparation really shows.
Thank you. It really helped to break the questions into parts and focus on understanding, not just memorizing. Andrea.
That's exactly the right approach. The questions cover U.S. history, government, and rights, so try to connect what you learn to real-world events.
I've also been using the USCIS app and watching practice interviews online.
That's excellent. Don't forget to regularly review the questions that vary, like the names of your senators, representatives, governor, and other current officials.
Right. I've marked those in a separate list to check closer to the interview date.
Perfect. Also, study in short, consistent sessions instead of cramming. Practice speaking your answers clearly and confidently, just like today.
That's been really helpful for me. I'll keep it up.
Great mindset. You're well on your way to becoming a U.S. citizen. Congratulations on all your hard work.
Thank you so much.